Thanks for tuning in. Today I'll be making Vlaflip from scratch, a traditional Dutch toetje or dessert that I absolutely love. Hi, I'm Toine and welcome to my kitchen. If you're new to this channel, I focus on cooking foods from my home country, the Netherlands, and some of its former colonies such as Indonesia. Vlaflip consists of 3 parts. At the bottom is a layer of vanille, a vanilla flavored custard. Then you have fruit syrup, and on top is a layer of yogurt. Now when I was young I loved the fruit syrup. It's sweet and flavorful, but as I've gotten older I actually prefer something slightly less sweet, so I'll be making a fruit sauce instead. To make vanille you will need 1 liter plus 100 milliliters of whole milk, 80 grams of sugar, 40 grams of cornstarch, 2 vanilla beans, 5 egg yolks, and a pinch of salt. I'm going to start by putting my 1 liter of milk in a heavy bottom saucepan, and then we're going to prepare the vanilla bean. Here's my vanilla bean. Smells so good. With a sharp paring knife I'm going to split it open down the center. And then with the back of the knife I'm going to scrape out the seeds. And I'm going to scrape that into the pot and do it for the other side as well. There's a lot of flavor in the bean itself, or in the pot, so that is going in the milk as well. And I'm going to repeat it with my second vanilla bean. Okay, last bit. And the pod. And now we'll move over to the stove. Over medium heat, I'm going to bring the milk to a gentle boil, stirring occasionally. What we're really trying to do is to get that vanilla to really infuse into the milk and pull all the flavor out. I can see little bubbles forming on the outer edge. We can see that it's almost at a boil. I'm now going to turn the heat down to low and let it simmer for 15 minutes. You want to stir occasionally to make sure that nothing burns or sticks to the bottom of the pot. The milk has been simmering for 15 minutes. So I'm turning off the flame and I'm going to remove the vanilla pods or vanilla beans. Don't throw them away. I actually rinse these off and then let them completely dry and put them in a jar of sugar to make vanilla sugar. And now I'll move on to the next step. In a mixing bowl, I'm going to combine the 100 milliliters of milk, sugar, cornstarch, and just a pinch of salt. I'm going to whisk it together. You want to make sure that you don't see any lumps of the cornstarch in the milk. And now we're going to add the egg yolks. The next step is to, what we call in Dutch, marrying the hot milk into the egg mixture. In English we say, I want to temper the egg mixture with the hot milk. And you need to do this slowly because you don't want to curdle the eggs. I'm going to take 1 small ladle and while whisking, slowly add it. And I'm going to keep doing that until I've used up about half of the milk. As you're warming up the egg mixture by adding the hot milk, you can start adding it a little faster, but in the beginning you definitely want to move slowly. Just a few more scoops. Okay, it's my last scoop. And to make sure there are no pieces of curdled egg in here, I'm going to pour it through a strainer. It shouldn't have happened because we did a pretty good job tempering, but I like to just make sure. And now we're going to go back to the stove. If you're enjoying this video, please click the like and subscribe button. It will really help our channel. And if you want YouTube to notify you whenever we post a new video, click the bell. Over medium-low heat, I'm going to heat this up, stirring constantly. What you'll notice is that this will start thickening. What you want to do is actually Don't go all the way until you get to the thickness that you like your vla to be. You want to stop a little bit shy of that, because when we put it in the fridge to cool off, it's going to continue setting and get a little thicker. In the olden days, vanilla vla was sold in glass bottles, and because it is rather thick, you couldn't pour out every last bit. So the Dutch invented what is called a flessentrekker, a bottle pooler, is the literal translation, that would let you get every last little bit out of the bottle. When you buy vanilla vla in the grocery store, it is often much yellower than this is, and that is because they add coloring to it, and we are not. I can see that it's starting to thicken and it's going to move fast, so I'm ready to turn off the stove the minute it hits the consistency I like. I've turned off the flame because it has hit the consistency that I like. When you pour it off your spoon, it kind of comes off in globs. I'm going to transfer this to a glass bowl. I'm going to let this cool off just a little bit, and then I'm going to cover it with plastic wrap, making sure that the plastic wrap touches the custard, and that prevents it from forming a skin. I'll put it in the fridge for 2 hours to cool off. Now I'm going to make the fruit sauce, and for this you will need 250 grams of raspberries, 250 grams of strawberries, 120 milliliters of water, 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon juice, and 75 grams of sugar. The sauce couldn't be any easier. Just add all your ingredients to your blender. Lemon juice. Smells so good. And now I'm just going to puree it up. Since I didn't use seedless raspberries, I'm going to strain it into a measuring cup first. That's just going to barely fit, isn't it? That is full. The vla has cooled off, and you always want to kind of loosen it up with a whisk before serving it. All right, it's all loosened up. Now let's assemble. The first layer is going to be the vanilla vla. And this is the star of the dish, so you want to fill this up about halfway. I love the smell. I snuck a taste earlier when I was getting ready, and it tastes really good. Almost there. I would say that's halfway. Okay, next layer is going to be the sauce. I tasted this as well, and it is nice and tart, but it may be too tart for you, so give it a taste, and if it's too tart, just add a little bit of extra sugar. I'm going to add a little bit more. And then the last layer is yogurt. I'm using plain Greek yogurt, but if you don't have that or you're not a big fan, you can use any yogurt you want. I would not add a flavored yogurt to it, but it really is up to your own liking. So we're going to add a layer of yogurt on top, and maybe a little bit more. And here's our finished Vlaflip. I'm going to give it a taste. Eet Smakelijk. I want to make sure I get yogurt, sauce, and vanilla vla. I don't have to. I was going to blow. It's not hot, one. The tartness of the yogurt as well as the sauce with the slightly sweet and very vanilla flavor vla is just a great combination. Ranja, the brand of syrup that is traditionally added to a Vlaflip, is now, to me as an adult, too cloyingly sweet. So this tart, not so sweet sauce is a much better alternative. It is so tasty. I'm going to enjoy finishing this. This recipe makes way more sauce than I need for the rest of the Vlaflippen. The nice thing is you can use it in many different ways. You can add it to ice cream, plain yogurt, over some pound cake, and I'll put the link to that recipe in the description below. You can also pour it in an ice cube tray and freeze them and use them later. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click the like and subscribe button and don't forget to share it with your friends. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments below. I'll post the written recipe on my website toineskitchen.com, and you can follow me on social media as well. If you make a Vlaflip, I would love it if you can take a photo of it and post it on Instagram with the hashtag ToinesKitchen, and I'll feature it in my story and on my website. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, I'm like, wow, this is really solid, but there's paper on top. Die is echt stevig.